to Adobe ColdFusion Summit 2018. Now coming to the stage, Alicia Dvorak, ColdFusion Rockstar.
Who's excited to be here? I don't think I've ever been so excited about a ColdFusion Summit in my life. A lot of work has gone into this. We're really excited to kick things off, but obviously I have a couple things to make sure that I remind you of. So one thing that I want you to look around the room right now, we have an entirely full house, but in addition to that, can we get a show of hands for how many new people are here that haven't been to Summit before? Look at that, look around the room. I think we have something like 60 or 70% new people that have never been to Summit before. So to you guys, I say welcome. We're going to be using the Twitter handle CFSummit 2018. So please take some pictures and tell everybody what you're seeing here. Join me in welcoming our Senior Director of Products and General Manager for not only the ColdFusion business, but also e-learning and Connect business here at Adobe. Please put your hands together for Tradib Roy Chowdhury.
Good morning. So how many of you are disappointed after that musical build-up that you did not find a tall, handsome, mustachioed gentleman with a white undershirt swinging a guitar? So with all of you, I'm disappointed too. So good morning and welcome to Adobe ColdFusion Summit 2018. And thanks for coming. It's been a fantastic year for us, and we always look forward to receiving and meeting all of you at this conference. So before we get started, a quick shout out to all our sponsors, without whom we wouldn't be here. So thank you guys, and calling out Ortus Solutions. Is anybody around? There. Mura. Fusion Reactor. Foundio. Hostech. And last but not the least, Media Tree. This is a great conference. We have 450 plus attendees representing 300 plus companies, and about 180 of you joined the pre-conference. Anybody out here? How many of you joined the pre-conference here? So great. And evenly divided between managers and developers, which is what we've been seeing the last couple of years. So jumping right to it, our business strategy over the years has been actually very simple. We try very hard to make sure that everything that we do on ColdFusion and for the community is relevant to your workplace and to your workflows. And in every release, we try to push the envelope as far as possible on generating values that you can actually turn into business benefits. Focus on developers remains the key. Without developers, we wouldn't be standing here. And last but not the least, we are aggressively messaging out within and without the community our Adobe's commitment to this platform. Let's start with relevance. The last time Adobe ColdFusion missed its quarterly targets was 6 years ago. Almost 23 consecutive years of meeting its business goals. That's an amazing consistency and that we could not have achieved but for the great work that the team does, and honestly, your commitment and loyalty to this platform. So give yourself a big hand. And what is fantastic is 23 years since we launched ColdFusion the first time, right? And last quarter, with the launch of ColdFusion 2018, we had the best launch quarter ever. So we are a 23-year-old young product which is growing faster than we've ever done before, which is absolutely fantastic. That said, I couldn't be more proud of my team and the community that all around us. 70% of customers like yourself, when we poll, they tell us that you are really important part of your technology stack. Real important means you're giving us a 5 on 5 rating on importance in your technology stack, which is awesome. 70% of ColdFusion customers, and we've been doing this research now for the last few years, claim that they're building new applications on ColdFusion, not just maintaining them. And last but not the least, 70% of Fortune 100 companies, 50% of Fortune 500 companies, when we talk to them, claim that ColdFusion is a very important part of their technology environment, which is an amazing story to tell after 23 years. The product strategy for us is equally simple like the business strategy. Our strategy is built around essentially two things. Number one is listen to your customers, then listen some more, and really understand how we can add value to your workplace and to your business and workflows. We don't try to build products which are meant only for me and my engineers. We try to make sure that everything that we do adds value to what you are doing out there. The second part of it is all around how we deliver those features and functionalities. ColdFusion is all about making hard things easy. Making hard things easy is the basic mantra that lies at the core of everything that we do. So we take extra care to make sure that when we deliver a feature and functionality, we try to make it as easy as possible for you to use them. So that's the overlying thing. So now let's come to the most important thing is speed. The world today around us, and you are no strangers to that world, is hooked onto speed. Just look around and see how quickly the acceptable levels of tolerance for turnaround time, for page load time, is falling year after year after year. And it's not just that. Any variance from the current acceptable level of quality, of speed, can lead to customers actually leaving your platform and going elsewhere, leading to business losses. Right? So when we speak to CTOs, when we speak to developers, when we speak to architects, it is really no surprise when they tell us that performance and scale is number one on the list of priorities when they look at a platform. Right? So our focus on speed has been on two fronts. One is out of the box performance, and the second one is giving you tools and features to help you to build faster applications. So if you look at ColdFusion 2016, we ensured that out of the box, you'll get about 30% improvement of your application's performance just by moving to ColdFusion 2016. Then we also kind of recognized that a lot of your applications, as you were running them, was using your main memory to store session variables, which was having a huge impact or a bottleneck as far as performance and scale. So what we did in 2016 was to allow you the functionality to move most of the session variables to a Redis distributed cache, essentially freeing up the memory and unlocking performance and scale. In 2016, we also came out with an API management platform. Again, as you will all recollect, we were clearly not the earliest bird in that space. And as a late entrant, it was important for us to put a stick in the ground how we differentiate ourselves from competition. And we once again bravely chose that when we come out with the API management platform, it will be fastest and the most efficient platform that is out there. And you will be happy to note, till today, the only API manager which publishes or has published a public-facing document outlining its performance metrics happens to be the Adobe ColdFusion API Manager. I wonder what competition has to hide. But that's our test. Over the last couple of years, a large number of high-traffic websites and companies have embraced API Manager from ColdFusion as their API Manager of choice, moving away from some of our established competitors. And on average, they're telling us they're getting about 300% improvement on performance compared to the platform that they moved away from. So that goes to our continued commitment to delivering performance and scale to everything that we do. The next really important thing is security. And I guess in today's world, it doesn't take me too many things to convince you how important this is in every aspect of the digital world that we live in. There's a company called CVEdetails.com which tracks all vulnerabilities reported across all platforms. And I'm happy to note that over a period of 2014 to 2017, ColdFusion has been rated as the most secure platform with the least number of reported vulnerabilities. Right? Which is amazing. There's something in the world of security which is called zero-day vulnerability or zero-day attack. It means that if you are reported a 0-day, you have to kind of fix the problem like yesterday. That is the level of severity that you have. I'm happy to note that while most of the competing platforms have multiple 0 days annually, the last time ColdFusion has had a 0-day vulnerability was the Christmas of 2012. That's an amazing streak that I really want to continue for over the next few years. Productivity. You know, like when I go around and speak to people, speak to customers, speak to technology leaders, one of the main reasons why people continue to love this platform is productivity. Some of our customers have openly expressed that they have actually in the past, or in the recent past, have moved away from ColdFusion and embraced another technology for developing some of the new applications, and have come back to ColdFusion because they realized there is nothing out there that can deliver the level of productivity that ColdFusion can do. So 80% of the people in our poll says that they use ColdFusion primarily for the speed of development and the ease of use. The flip side of the productivity is all about innovation. Not necessarily discoveries, not necessarily inventions. But what the team has done very well over the years is innovate very cleverly around problems that the community has faced whenever they were embracing new cutting-edge technology. Again, that old mantra, make hard things easy. Right? So that is what lies at the core of ColdFusion, and which has allowed a very humble DBML language called ColdFusion 23 years ago, with very unambitious dreams to evolve and become one of the most successful and efficient script-based or tag-based languages that is out there. Very early on, we realized that ColdFusion can play an important role of becoming like an enterprise glue, right? Like an enterprise hub, connecting various systems around you. So PDF, mail, Word documents, .NET, Java. And so a lot of organizations started to use us as an enterprise glue, and ColdFusion evolved as an enterprise hub. With the coming of age of event gateways, we gave you the opportunity to connect to any third-party solutions out there simply through a CFC or through a config file. And some of the old-timers in the room will possibly remember that we were the first to make AJAX programming really, really easy. And this is way before jQuery was alive and way before JavaScript has reached the popularity that it has done today. Now, since then, we've worked on HTML5, we've worked on REST, we've worked on mobile, and of course, the API Manager that we came out in 2016. So, through this journey that you see, some of the things we did really well. And some of the things up there, we would be the first ones to tell you, we did not do very well. That's the nature of the beast when you innovate. But we can assure the community here that we will never shy away from experimenting with adjacent technologies and try to make it democratic and easy to use for all of you. So if you see the world of web application development today, what do you see today? So you have huge emphasis on separation of servers and client programming. There's a huge emphasis on using the best-in-class server-side programming, best-in-class client-side programming, and connecting them to REST APIs or any other APIs. Dockerization, containerizations have become essential elements, right, in all your design and deployment architecture. This is actually quite different than what the world was, say, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, right? So it gives me real pleasure to invite an organization which has been around for 60 years. For 60 years, this organization has very much defined not just cutting edge, but what is next stage in the knowledge of human beings. Over the last 60 years, this organization has done multiple times, evolved their existing software systems and solutions to keep themselves up to date with the cutting edge technologies that's out there. This 60-year young organization needs no introduction. The organization is called NASA. So it gives me great pleasure, and I hope you join me in putting your hands together to welcome on stage Joe Humam from NASA.
So, good morning, everybody. I'm Joe Holman, and this is our story about ColdFusion. I'm here with two other developers, Ron Coulter, Bob Pergerson, and together we have about 70 years of experience doing IT development at NASA Glenn. And back in 2001 is when we started to work with ColdFusion. So I just want to give you the background a little bit and then kind of tell you our story. So, as was mentioned, yesterday was NASA's 60th birthday. NASA's a little bit older than me, but not by much. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, NASA Glenn Research Center. It's a one-of-a-kind center doing research evolved around using wind tunnels, drop towers, vacuum chambers, all kinds of really cool things that I still can't get my head around after all these years. So it's been around since the beginning of NASA, and there's about a little over about 3,200 people right now working there. This is our facility, our building. Glenn Research Center is set up very much like a college campus with lots of test facilities and type of different places to support all the mission goals. In our building, there's about 62 of us supporting the office of the CIO. And we have the developers, the DBAs, system administrators supporting us. It's a map of NASA as it currently is configured. You'll notice that we have centers all over the country, and all these centers use ColdFusion. It's been around since 2001. All the centers started using it a little bit, and part of the challenge with NASA is that each center, we have research centers, we have space flight centers, we have test facilities, and we all support one mission, which is to get back to the moon, get onto Mars. But one of the challenges, each center is unique. So the requirements are really a challenge. We were excited to hear that there's some people here from JSC. Most people know about Johnson Space Center in Houston, very popular in a lot of movies. Glenn Research Center up there in Ohio. Not everybody knows we're there, but we are. So we have people here from Johnson this week and Armstrong Flight Research Center. We're really excited for this opportunity to work with them and everybody here to try to see where this product is going and help support us. So, back in 2001, our customers, our coworkers on the government side wanted us to come up with a web application environment. Doing client server, we're doing mainframe. That's all cool stuff back in the day. But we needed a way to get to the web. So there was a lot of thought and thinking that went into how are we going to get that first web application development environment. So we put a team together, came up with a lot of good requirements, a lot of criteria for success. And after all was said and done, the tool that was picked was ColdFusion. It met all the criteria. It met everything we wanted to do. And also, by the way, it was also the easiest to learn and also very affordable. It was one of the more affordable ones. We had evaluated several others, some that I can't even remember now. They probably don't exist. We did Power Builder. They had a web application tool, and we didn't select that for it didn't meet what we wanted it to do. So that's kind of the background of how we got to where we are to get our environment. Back in 2001, we developed our very first web application environment we called it Wade, powered by ColdFusion. We put that on all the footers of our applications. It's still there today. The other tools we used were, we have Oracle as a database backend. We use a tool called PVCS for version control and Irwin as a data modeling tool. Just want to give you the scope of what our environment was set up. So we had a lot of early success. We started developing. A few of us, not everybody, got to go to training. They got training on ColdFusion, and we started developing our first applications. One of the earliest successes we've had, back in 2001, this is a project that started before 2001. I've been the project lead since the beginning with a great team. But as I moved up into management, I still keep this kind of my baby. But it's an agency-wide system, over 400 users at every NASA center back on that map uses that. So it is using ColdFusion, the application, I would believe, if we weren't able to have an environment that we have, which includes ColdFusion, we would not have that application going for over 20 years, and it's still widely used. Other beautiful things were such as no more client-server development issues. We shut down the mainframes, and everybody's in love with ColdFusion, and the developers are loving using the tool because of all the easy things we can do with it. So we're cruising along. We're doing great. We have applications at all of our facilities or organizations at Glenn Research Center. We've got probably around 60 at Glenn. We think the number's around 400 throughout the agency. So there's a big footprint there. The customers are getting a little tired of our front end. It's starting to look a little blah. They kind of forget about all the work that has to go into the back end as we are developing the front end. We have a limited staff. It is NASA, but it's still NASA's budgets are not for things like this. We don't get a huge budget. We have 60 applications, but we're out one deep. We have developers supporting like 10 to 12 applications, and there's no backup, true backup. When there's a problem, when somebody's on vacation, it's like, okay, who's here? Who can I give this to? Again, our UI is not real pretty. We're really hoping to learn a lot this week about how we can improve our user interface. And then things really went bad when the Office of Personnel Management hack hit. The OPM hack, all of a sudden, IT security, as it was mentioned on the previous presentation with that slide, is huge for us. IT security became a part of our daily lives, not just developing applications, doing good database design, and developing applications that are easy to use. Everything became around IT security, and that trumped everything. So we're still going strong, but having some issues. But then this next slide hit, and those that were kind of like saying, we got to get off ColdFusion, we got to do something else. I'm not sure if everybody's heard of the Gartner report. Gartner does their surveys, and they collect a whole bunch of data around where IT is going, and this one's around software development tools. So if you can see, at the dusk of obsolescence line, there's ColdFusion in the circle right at the dusk with supposedly less than 2 years. So our customers are coming at us all the time saying, there you go, you got to get off ColdFusion. So just a real quick story on one day that I will not soon forget at work, where a customer said, hey, come on down. Let's talk about, I want you to give me an estimate in about a day. What will it take to rewrite all those 60 applications in .NET? That's what I did. I laughed. I said, that can't, I thought that's a joke. But he was serious, and I understood that. I get what they were saying, because this is at the management level, that makes sense. So we got together all kinds of like, this can't be happening kind of things. But anyway, now moving forward, I'm trying to see where we're headed with all this. We, for the last year, have worked really closely with the team here, the ColdFusion team. We met with them in Cleveland, Ohio back in February, I think it was. They were doing their show, a road show, and had some of our customers come down. We talked about CF18 and all the things that are really matching up with our IT roadmap. NASA has a roadmap of where they want things to go, and they just didn't think ColdFusion fit in there. But if you take a look at the things that are in CF18, a lot of those things do exist that we want to do. So they worked with Gartner, and I was told that that's never happened before. They pushed back at technology. where it's gone from, they think it's going away, so now it's 2 to 5 years, and now all of a sudden, we're getting a much more positive reaction. They're saying, okay, maybe we need to slow down and take a look at this. So, what we've been dealing with over the last few years is the perception versus reality. Perception, CF is expensive. Open source is free. ColdFusion is not expensive. For our enterprise, this is just at how we use it at Glenn. Our cost, that's one of the smaller line items in our budget. It's not that expensive. Open source is free. You still have to maintain it. You got to go set it up. You got to deal with so much more with security issues. Nobody uses CF anymore. Well, I think as we've heard today already this morning, we know that's not true. Part of that Gartner report that was up there was Gartner was missing out on the federal government. That was a big data point they were missing. ColdFusion, kind of blah looking. But it's still very popular with government customers. We know we have a secure tool to work with. We've had events at NASA Glenn too with some of our environments, not our weight environment. It's easier and faster to develop an app in a modern JS framework. Not in our experience. We have found that that is not the case. Yesterday we were at the Angular class, and some of the people we're talking to, we've learned you're having the same struggles we have. It was a really good reality check. So, where we're moving forward, what we see is very positive things we can leverage out of ColdFusion 18 is Angular. We went to the Angular class yesterday. How to help us improve our user interface. That's going to be very helpful. Big buzzwords. Our customers love buzzwords. We understand that. Talking points. DevOps. DevOps around development, security, and operations is a huge deal. We really feel that this is something we can do. When we went to that meeting back in February, the API manager, when they mentioned that, that was like I saw the customers that were there, and we really have a great working relationship with our customers, and they count on us to help make these decisions, and we need to provide them the support. That API manager is going to help. At one of our telecons, they mentioned, oh, we got a code analyzer, and I'm getting IM. He says, we got to use that code analyzer. We got to see how we're doing with that. So again, great. ColdBox is really something that's already helped us. So just some real quick slides to finish up. I want to show you, this is just a application we were asked to switch from ColdFusion to the mean stack. They asked us to denormalize our database. That didn't make any sense to us. So we developed an API to get the data into Oracle, but we're just using Angular to try to build this. We could have done it so much faster with ColdFusion. ColdBox. One of the things we've dealt with is that we can't hire people to do ColdFusion. I've hired a couple people recently. I've kept the advertisement for those positions kind of generic, just looking for developers. We found if you have good developers, they can pick up ColdFusion. And the one developer came in and says, I'm going to develop with ColdBox. We said, great. So customers are very happy with the rewrite of one of our applications. So we're starting to make that transition and do it in the right way. Just another example of that page that we were producing for them. We'll be here this week. We really want to try to interact with as many of you as possible to help seeing where everything is going. So that is our story. I thank you for listening to us and really look forward to catching up with the folks from NASA and everybody else.
That was exciting, wasn't it?